What's the most polite insult you've ever heard? Your train of thought always seems to have a pleasant journey, doesn't it? I feel like my journey is pleasant just for asking, but can you explain? Either A, the train is moving slow, or B, the train is taking a scenic route. Either way, you're taking longer to reach the end of your train of thought. Thank you. My train of thought must be a handcar. I could be wrong, but I think it means that the person is slow to think/understand. Seems like your thought train takes the scenic route, complete with delightful detours and captivating distractions. You've absolutely maxed out your potential. I love this one. And if the recipient is deserving, they'll truly be blissfully unaware of the sting that spectators can relish. You suck good, sir. Blew my mind. I'm sure it did. I just realized that my potential for sarcasm is off the charts, but luckily I'm able to keep it on the DL. Hello. Want to hear some absolutely polite insults? We've got the best ones. Subscribe and share your most elegant insult in the comments. We can't wait to read them. I read it on another sub. Somebody told their annoying friend that they have an amazing voice to play the drums. They've got a face for radio. A face for radio and a voice for print. And a vocabulary for painting. I said that to my friend in high school, and now he hosts a daytime radio show in a good-sized city. I stand by my comment. I must say, complimenting someone's voice for playing drums is like applauding their ability to bake cookies by complimenting their soccer skills. Genius. At this point, you can only impress me. That doesn't really feel like an insult, to be honest. That's what's so polite about it. You can only impress me because my expectations for you are so low that no matter what you do, it'll be an improvement over those. Your job was to draw a circle and you just ripped the paper up because you couldn't open the crayon box? I'm impressed, at least you didn't choke on the pieces of paper and die. Job is make something out of Play-Doh. You just ate it all? Well, I'm impressed. I expected you to do that and vomit all over Timmy afterwards, but I guess you're really on your A game today. I'll be impressed if you can manage to come up with a clever insult without getting lost on the way. I may have taught you everything you know, but I didn't teach you everything I know. My dad said that to me once. Haha, I feel like it's more of a flex than an insult, but that's cute. My family roasts each other to show love, so it was totally playful smile. I think it was Buddy Guy, or another blues guitarist, who said this about Jimi Hendrix. I may not have mastered the art of polite insults, but I've certainly learned a thing or two about crafting snarky comebacks with a touch of sarcasm. Everybody has a purpose in life, even if it's to serve as a bad example. Continue to contribute even if it's useless. It's sound funny and mean in original language. Triusla berkarya walau tidak berguna. What is the original language? I put Indonesian language in earlier comments, but the original was in Manado dialect, from the song Ampiun Bang Yago, around 253. Thanks. Well, if we were giving out awards for being an unintentional expert at being a bad example, I'm pretty sure you'd have the trophy by now. He's a modest guy. And he has a great deal to be modest about. Said, perhaps by Churchill, about his successor, Clement Attlee, in 1945, Attlee is a modest man who has a great deal to be modest about. It's been attributed to Churchill, but Churchill denied saying it. Apparently he had deep respect for Attlee and once chastised a dinner guest of his who called Attlee silly old Attlee. Well, they do say modesty is a virtue, although I must admit, I've never seen anyone wear it so confidently. Kids, just because I don't care doesn't mean I'm not listening. Homer Simpson. This is my mom. She doesn't give a shit what we say, but she always listens and pays attention to our boring rants. She even asks for clarifications on stuff, quoting things said earlier. She doesn't care about the topic, but she cares about us and we care about the topic. My son has decided I need to know 301 facts about Minecraft. There isn't a chance of memory retention on my end. The end is a dimension in Minecraft. It contains the Ender Dragon, often considered to be the final boss. I always find it fascinating how some people can manage to speak without saying anything at all, like a silent symphony of irrelevance. It's truly refreshing to meet someone who remains so pure and untouched by knowledge. Said by my little sister to a guy on the beach near her home in Oregon, as he tried to matter-of-factly argue that flat Earth theory was supported by the obviously flat horizon in the distance. Your little sister is an icon. Your sister sounds awesome. Your understanding of the material and capability in the position is a fair showing of your education. I could see this wielded against many educations in the SEUS. Were you homeschooled? Polite. Oh, this is good. Well, I must say, your ability to appreciate subtle shades of backhanded compliments is truly an honorable testament to your refined sense of passive aggression. Well, you look the best you possibly could, and that's all that matters. Oh man, the other day a friend told me I definitely have the looks to make it in prostitution. Not sure if that was the compliment they thought it was. Well, I must say, your attempt at a polite insult is as successful as my attempts at parallel parking. Admirable effort, but ultimately, it's just not going to fit. Greatness has always chased you, but you have always been a little faster. Stealing this one. Looks like you're the Usain Bolt of escaping compliments, always just a step ahead of greatness. I envy people who have never met you. I love this one. Stealing. Sounds like a Groucho line. I must admit, your ability to delicately insult deserves a standing ovation. It's like a dance of passive aggression that only a true master can perform. Oh honey, you aren't pretty enough or rich enough to speak to people like that. Said to someone who was being super rude to a waitress. Knock knock. Come in if you're rich or beautiful. Oh, you must be rich. Guy I know was playing golf at high-end club in Scotland. He had to have a signed letter from his local pro here in Canada that his handicap was such and such in order to be deemed good enough to play there. Anyway, he's warming up on the driving range, hitting balls. When he's finished, he starts to pack up his things when he catches the eye of another golfer who's waiting to get on the driving range. He looks at the guy I know, smiles and politely says, "Your putting must be absolutely incredible." Brutal. Such a masterful combination of incredibly complimentary and absolutely devastating. I think this one wins. St. Andrews? Not an insult, but the most polite way of telling someone to fuck off. I'd like to invite you to leave. Don't let me detain you. Veterinary for the win. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Now that you have, may I, politely, invite you to step off my FG porch? Well, I may not be a master of paradoxical politeness, but I have to say, that invitation to leave is as polite as offering a vegan an all-you-can-eat meat buffet. From the film Time Bandits. You are so mercifully free from the ravages of intelligence. Well, aren't you just blissfully unaffected by the burdensome constraints of common sense? Quite the remarkable talent, I must say. You don't look so bad today. Well, isn't it fascinating how you've managed to make a mediocre comment sound like a moment of pure brilliance? Quite the talent you've got there. Come back when you can't stay so long. Looks like your insult skills are as elusive as a unicorn with a GPS. Be sure to pack an extra compass next time. You're very difficult to underestimate. Well, if underestimating were an Olympic sport, you'd definitely be winning the gold medal for making it to the top of the not so underestimable podium. Server, how's the food? Me, as good as the service. Server hits me with a menu, asshole. Everyone brightens someone's life in some way. Even if it's through leaving. I've always admired your talent for finding the silver lining, even when it comes to people's exits. It's like turning lemons into, well, lemons, but with a slightly different perspective. You're not being the person Mr. Rogers knew you could be. Fuck, that's a good one. You know, figuring out the most polite insult feels like trying to compliment someone's fashion sense by complimenting their dishwasher loading skills. It's a whole new level of subtle shade. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. I've had a wonderful evening. This wasn't it, but I have had a wonderful evening. Groucho Marx. He was brilliant. Bilbo? Yes. I never realized how evenly distributed my indifference towards people was until I read that sentence. Bravo. Someone called me a honey badger once. If someone said that to me, I'd take it as a compliment. I would for sure have to hear the tone on that to know if it was a compliment or insult. You absolute honey badger could go either way. But honey badgers are known for being badors. My middle child has the nickname Honey Badger. It is meant mostly as a compliment. Me too. Well, now I know why everyone calls me Captain Obvious. It's like being praised for my exceptional talent of breathing oxygen.